And welcome back to another session of Pellet Tech 101. Today I have the GMG Davy Crockett right here, and we're going to be going through a complete and total cleaning on this unit. Now this is an earlier model. This is one pre-Wi-Fi. I've had this for about 6 years, and as you can see, I have a tendency to neglect my cleaning, as I'm sure that most of us do. But that's one of the beautiful things about GMG, is that these are really tried and true performers that don't really require you to be going in there every cooking, or even every 10 cookings, or even every 20 cookings to do your maintenance or your cleaning. You probably should do it more than what I do it. However, it's a fantastic grill that's extremely forgiving regarding the maintenance end of things. But after a point, it comes up where enough of the food drippings and chunks of the food are on that grease drip plate, almost now reaching the grates themselves. So it's definitely time for a cleaning on this bad boy. So I just have a brush with a scraper on it. And then I have a vacuum cleaner right here that we're going to use. I just have a household vac. Obviously, if a shop vac, it's going to be a much better option than a house vac, but that's what I've got, so that's what we're going to use. So the first thing that we do, we just want to get these grates clean. Which again, you usually run a brush over, every other time that you cook food, just to make sure that all the buildup is off those grates. Pretty simple. If you are using a wire bristle brush like this, I would say that it's important to re-wipe down the grates with like a paper towel. Always want to make sure that none of those little metal bristles have broken off, where they have any kind of a chance of getting in your food. So that's really important. There's a lot of new brushes and grill grate cleaners that are out there. And personally, if you find a good one that does not have these metal bristles, it's probably the best option. But this is what I have for now, so this is what I'm using. So at this point, now that the grates are clean, I'm going to just kind of pull those out. We're going to set those off to the side. Next up, I have my grease drip baffle that's in here. Now again, this is an earlier Davy Crockett, so this has the two-piece kind of open flame technology designed grease drip baffle. Most of the newer ones that are coming out right now will have a solid stainless steel grease strip baffle, which is significantly easier to clean and to maintain within there. But with this two-piece, it's still an option that GMG offers if a person wanted open flame technology. But the only way that it's going to work is if these holes are actually open. And as you can see right now, mine's pretty caked up inside there. So we want to go ahead and get that started first, get this cleaned. So the grease strip tray right here is two pieces on this particular style. So as I lift this up, I just kind of have it at an angle, and then I kind of a diagonal angle. It pulls out nice and easy with no force. So again, this is two-piece. So we have our upper, and then we have the lower. So we're going to go ahead and get those scraped. As you can see, your hands are going to get dirty in this process. So you can either wear some kind of like latex protective gloves, or just scrub those hands down once you're done. So I have just a couple pieces of grocery bags right here that I'm going to use just so I don't make as much of a mess. So if you can lay down a drop cloth, again, I think that little grocery bags like this work really well. Just makes the process that much easier on your final cleanup. So what I'm going to do is just kind of separate these. I'll set that one off to the side for right now. And we'll get the main one right here. So I'm just going to run a hard scraper on top of that. Get as much of that goop and gunk off there as I can. As you can see here, a lot of my holes are plugged up. A lot of those holes are plugged up on there. So if I was trying to use this as an open flame technology, I'd really only be getting about 30% of that fire through the holes, given how blocked these are. So, my recommendation, if you want to use the open flame technology in this grill, that when you're cleaning a grate like this, you could use a small like precision screwdriver or anything like that, just to physically stick through each one of these holes and make sure they're all open and clear. Personally, I don't ever really use the open flame technology. I keep it closed all the time. So for me, I'm just going to make sure that I have as much of the buildup off of there as possible. We'll do a quick run on the back side. like that. And as you can see, I mean, a lot of them are kind of freeing up, but some are still definitely plugged. And again, just like a precision screwdriver. I mean, shoot, even the end of a pen might work just to kind of open up those holes a little bit more. But that's basically cleaning off the grease drip. So that's the top side. Just going to kind of set that off to the side. Grab the bottom side. And same thing, we'll just do a nice little scrape here. Just like that. Just like that. So on this one, almost all of our holes are open. So I'm just going to go ahead and get these two pieces kind of back together there. And we'll set that off to the side. So next inside the grill, I have my heat baffle. Now again, this is an earlier Davy Crockett. So the heat baffle on this one is open on both sides, and we have to make sure that these little notches match the little notches that are on the back and the front side of the fire pot as we're putting this back in. The new fire baffle that's in the new Davy Crockett's actually has a stop on it, so it can only be put in one way. But this is, again, is the earlier style. Not a whole lot that we need to do here, just some light ash that's on here. But really no scraping, no cleaning that needs to be done on that. And then finally, that kind of exposes everything that's in the firebox. I mean, as you can see, I've probably run somewhere around 60 pounds of pellets in the grill here since I last cleaned it. And as you see, there's really not a ton in here. We have a little bit of fly ash off to the side, and then I have a little bit of accumulated fly ash that's in the burn pot. But that's basically it. So very easy. You can run a lot of pellets. It's very low ash. So again, if I had a shop vac, I'd use a shop vac. At this point, I'm just going to use my household vac and just suck up what's in the fire pot and suck up the buildup that's around that area. And just like that, pretty simple. Took less than a minute to clean that out. Again, as you go inside of the fire pot right here, you're going to have a little hot rod sticking through. That's your igniter element. It is important that we're not hitting that with a vacuum cleaner. We do want to be careful with that igniter element. As you might have seen, I moved my finger in here a little bit. Some of that ash buildup can get kind of hard and clinkery in the bottom, so I'll just use my finger. You could obviously use a screwdriver or something else, but I'm just kind of breaking it up a little bit so it's easier to scoop up with the vacuum cleaner. Now the fire pot is completely cleaned and around the edges are completely cleaned. I do have some pretty significant buildup over here by my grease drip area. Fair amount of grease is built up over here, and the channel or the tube that goes down is kind of plugged as well. So what I might do with something like this is grab like a bottle brush and physically run it through that passageway, just so that I'm ensuring that that grease can funnel out and run to the bucket. So that'll be a little tool that I'll have to pick up, will be a bottle brush like that to make sure that that channel is open for the grease to go back out. But other than that, that's essentially it with the interior cleaning of the grills. I mean, it's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. The Daniel Boone, the Jim Bowie are very similar to the Daniel Boone as far as this goes. So at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and put it back together. So the fire baffle, again with the earlier models, there's two little grooves that'll rest on. Any of the newer grills, it can only go in one way, and it's kind of set in place and you'll feel it like that. And now we're just going to grab our grease tray. So again, I put the two-piece back together. The angled area is kind of what goes down, and the little notch that's cut out right here is for the thermal sensor, the thermal probe that's in the unit. And now that I'm looking at this, I might have the top backwards, yes, just like that. So this handle area should be on the side where the opening is for the thermal sensor. Like that. And again, seated properly, you'll kind of feel it where that groove is on that lip back there. And this groove is up top right, making an indent for the thermal sensor. I'll grab my grates here. We'll go ahead and place those in. And that's it. That's the interior cleaning of a GMG Davy Crockett. Again, your hands are going to get a little dirty. Nothing wrong with that. They can always be washed off. But pretty straightforward cleaning on this guy. I might go ahead and use a little steel wool and kind of brush this up. We do offer a lot of different colors and high temperature paint. So, you know, over the years, you can always keep this thing looking spick and span and brand new. Again, for a 6-year-old unit, this thing has been perfect for me. I've gone all over the country with it, from beaches and tailgating parties to using it right here in my backyard. So it's really been a little phenomenal grill for me. And that is the overall cleaning and the basics of the cleaning for the GMG Davy Crockett. So you know, I'm sweating a little bit out here, a little humid today. But that's pretty much it. Questions, any comments, make a note in the video right here. We're always happy to help and make sure that we can provide assistance for you. And we thank you again for joining us for another session of Pellet Tech 101, and we'll see you soon.